Welcome to Freedom Motivated with Christina Whiteley, the podcast that empowers you to live life on your terms. Are you uninspired, bored, and unhappy with where life has taken you? And yearning for a life filled with purpose and passion? Look no further. We are here to ignite that fire within, to awaken your true potential, and to guide you on a journey towards absolute freedom. Join us as we delve into the minds of incredible entrepreneurs and freedom leaders from very different backgrounds with incredible stories. Be inspired by their resilience and learn from their challenges they faced along the path to success. These are the brave individuals who fight every day to awaken people to the power of self-responsibility and who inspire them to create a life they are absolutely in love with. Each episode will explore the concept of conscious income creation, building a business or creating a career that aligns with your unique skill set, purpose, values, and belief system. Discover the strategies, tips, and invaluable insights shared by our guests as they guide you towards making a living doing what you love. It's time to break free from the shackles of conformity and embrace the freedom that awaits. Are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to step into the life you've always dreamed of? Then welcome to Freedom Motivated, the podcast that will ignite your spirit and unleash your potential. All right. We are now live here on Facebook. Man, I am so excited for this conversation. Me and Miss Sarah Shamoon were having a conversation a couple of days ago, and we're like, man, this conversation needs to be something that we take public. It needs to be something that we have a bigger conversation around and help people really see a bigger picture for themselves and for their business and really work in alignment with the people that they love, because we're going to share some stuff with you today that will be a game changer in your business. And I got to tell you how it all started, because Sarah and I were laughing. We're having a conversation and she hears these little coos, these little noises from the baby. And I'm like, yeah, it's so cute. And then he pooped on me. Like, I'm not actually on me, but like pooped while I was holding him. And I was like, business is just kind of like having a baby. Like, it's amazing. They're so sweet. You're so excited. You've got all this emotion around it, and then they shit on you. And you're like, okay. And now we got to go through this, and we've got to go through this challenge, and we've got to go through this growth, and we've got to, adjust course, and we've got to figure out how our lives are going to adapt when you run a business. And it was just such a funny conversation. And we got into the vulnerability of what it's like to build business with your heart, and really how vulnerability will change everything for you. And so I want to pass this over to Sarah, because we're going to go back and forth and let you in on a few little things, because when you learn how to lead with vulnerability and human connection, your relationships change, and the quality of people that you attract to you, to your business, to your community, up levels, and it shifts and changes, because we're just humans, right? We're all just humans, regardless of our life experience or what we've been able to accomplish. We're all humans. And so, Sarah, I'm going to pass it on over to you, my friend.
Miss Christina, it's always such a pleasure and a blessing to be side by side with you, to be able to hear your story, to hear little Isaac in the background, to hear the coos and the cries and like the little poops that you can probably smell in the background too. It's all a part of it. And me being a childless mother, I still feel that emotion. I still feel the vulnerability. I see you each and every day stepping up and helping more and more women, because you're such an impact-driven soul. So everything that you're doing for your communities and how it's just expanding and rippling, we're all blessed to have you, Christina.
Aw, you're so kind. Well, I feel really blessed to be partnered with you, my friend, because we were talking about this the other day, personality types, right? You're the yin to my yang, man. Like, you were this kind, light, beautiful soul that brings this positive, beautiful feminine energy. And I need to learn and remember to dance in that more often. You're constantly dancing, right?
I'm mirroring you. To be honest, I feel that you're, and you want to know, it's crazy. I know how there's a quote that you say, and you literally just said it.
I just said it to
you. You literally just said this. Do you mind if I repeat it right now? Because this is your quote. We don't get what we want in life. We don't get I'm just going to attract this. We get what we are. We get what we're a vibrational match of. And you are attracting me, and you're bringing in this feminine energy. You're bringing in this birthing, you having surrendered manifestation, which is so powerful. And to me, I'm attracting this masculine energy right now, because I'm getting to work, and we're launching a beautiful project in Canada. I'm like, I need these powerful, driven, A-type, worthy badass mama
Yeah, you're
jamas.
allowed to swear on any of my videos. You're allowed to swear.
Okay,
It's totally normal.
badass mama jamas. And we are a vibrational match, and it is so beautiful. And I have to say, if anybody agrees with this, our vulnerability is an incredible, incredible source of love.
Hmm.
Our story, if you agreed, type one in the comments. That vulnerability is a superpower. And we don't have to feel shame anymore, or guilt, or judgment, because our story is someone else's prayer, answer to their prayer. And I think us becoming more and more empowered is being able to share our stories. The good, the bad, the happy, the sad. If you're a leader here and you're watching this today, welcome. This is probably more for you, the A-type, confident, I'm going to do it all. Self-worth, self-worth. And it is so much different than self-confidence.
It is. It's absolutely. You've been reading some books, haven't you, with Jamie Lee?
Dude, when I first saw that,
Yeah, Jamie Lee, mom. That's
if you
it.
have this book, if you have this book and you have been reading it, drop a worthy in the comments. I would love to know who's got this book. When I saw the podcast, this was almost a year ago when they started talking this on Ed Milet.
Yeah. She was just recently on again, by the way, like in the last couple of months or in the last month, she was on again.
Right, right. They were talking about her first book called Believe It. I love that. If you haven't read that one, like for me, that this is like I can't wait to meet Jamie Kern Lima one day because I truly believe a lot of her story, like I feel it in my core.
Hmm.
And us women being able to be here and be vulnerable and share our stories and not feel shame. This book cannot have come out at a perfect time. I've been waiting a year for this book, to be honest. But all vulnerability is our superpower, and a lot of human connection is. I think we start to. I truly believe that what we are here to do, our more of our destiny, is part of our like nemesis. It's our challenges in life. It's our problems. It's the things that we have to learn and we have to bring up. And I think that's what we end up teaching in life. I think that's part of our destiny is truly having to go through a lot of stuff in order to help.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
being here where we are in this state of mental wellness, of a crisis going on, I think the most important key component to remember is that we have learned, I don't know what you learned the most through COVID, but for me it was compassion.
Yeah, grace and compassion.
Is we may not have the same viewpoints.
Hmm.
And at first I was like, what do you mean you don't see what I see? Right? Like, how do you not? And like, even my own family, right?
Yeah,
But then I learned through time that really the goal of communication is not to get your point across. The goal of
yeah,
communication is not just, I'm going to say what I'm going to say to you. The goal of communication is simply to understand what the other person is trying to say.
that's right. To listen. To listen, right? And I think that often that's forgotten. And we are so busy trying to sell instead of trying to listen and trying to communicate. You said something really important about shame. And Brene Brown, this quote keeps coming back to me over and over and over again. And she said, if you shine a light on shame, nobody can use it against you, right? And for so long, I know you were bullied as a kid, I was bullied as a kid. I hid my vulnerabilities because I didn't want people to use them against me. I was scared that people would find me out, right? Find out my mistakes. And by the way, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. We all wish we could rewrite the past. We go back to conversations that we wish we could have had over again. We wish that we could have done things in leadership or in business differently. But over the last few years, I've truly learned to embrace the challenge and the things that I've done wrong, right? And this one sentence saved my life. Now that I know better, I'll do better. And so now I don't carry this weight of the mistakes that I've made. I learn from them. I teach from them. When I go through them, I want to share them. And that vulnerability is something that is really scary to a lot of people, right? They don't want to share that piece. And we were just talking. I did a post couple of days ago. Well, yesterday I did a post with no makeup, my hair were not done. I was like, this is what looking like working from home looks like, actually, right? With a baby strapped to me on a Sunday, working when people are off, like this is the truth. And I did a post a couple of days ago, and I know that I would really like you to share your story too. But I talked, and this was not something that I was really excited to share. Let's put it that way. Okay. I was not excited to share. I told you that I was nervous about it because I built a big business, I built a brand. I know that there's a lot of stigma attached, but I shared that for the last 20 years, I've used cannabis to navigate my sleep, navigate anxiety, navigate my appetite. So I actually want to eat because I've had so many gut issues over the years that sometimes I don't even feel hungry. And sometimes when I feel overwhelmed, which I try and take these words out of my vocabulary, okay, when I feel overwhelmed, I'll use it to bring me back in so that I can focus. And so when you started talking to me about this mental wellness project and some of the products that were formulated specifically for this reason, to increase serotonin and dopamine and GABA and help us deal with stress and help us focus, I was like, yeah, okay. Well, I've tried a lot of different things, and I wasn't willing to go down, the pharmaceutical route. That just wasn't something that I wanted to bring into my life. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I want to be very, very clear. There's a time and a place for that. But I was like, if I can just manage it with this. And like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. It's not something I'm proud of. I know that there are negative side effects. I know that I eat more chips and I snap a little bit more in that, in that time. However, if I could find something that replaced this, I would be willing to share it with everyone. And not only that, but I was really excited that there was a kids line. And some of the testimonies that I've heard coming out of this kids line with people that are just getting started, that are putting these kids, like, I am blown away. Like, it literally brings me to tears when people tell me, because I'm like, this is what we need. We are in a mental health crisis. Our kids are in crisis after COVID. We need to do something different. And this is the hill that I'm willing to die on. Like, this is the one that I'm willing to talk about, the one that I talk about in business coaching when I talk about mental toughness and emotional intelligence, by healing your trauma so that you can help other people. There's so many people that are operating in trauma out there that are using whatever they can to cope. And that's what this is. It's a coping mechanism, because we haven't been taught the skills that we need to deal with the stress and anxiety that's in our lives. We weren't meant to deal with all of these things that are being thrown at us all the time, all of the news, all of the wars, all of the things. Like, as human beings, we were never built to deal with those things. And so all of a sudden there's this massive mental health crisis, and we haven't been taught the skills to be able to move through that, or we haven't been taught how to deal with the root cause. So we're using whatever we can to cope. And I didn't want to go through that anymore. And so when you said that there's an option, I was like, okay, I'm willing to try it, and to see what's happened on the other side, to see that I no longer need those things, that I no longer need a crutch, that I can live life with an open heart, an open mind, and one that is fully conscious. That is the biggest gift anybody could give me. And I'm not going to get emotional about it. I'm going to
I
stop
already
talking so that
am.
I don't cry. But I'm going to, but I know that you've been through the same thing. And I think that talking about our vulnerability, talking about, the things that we thought made us weak, is actually a massive strength and a super connector with other people that are like-minded.
I just I saw you go through healing in the last 2 minutes.
Isn't
It
that
was very
interesting, huh?
powerful. It takes a lot of courage to be able to own up, and it takes a lot of bravery, Christina. You're a very strong, very powerful woman. You have built beautiful business. You have helped many people. That last little bit that you just did there was the most courageous thing that I've seen you done.
Hmm.
And I just want to honor you first and foremost on that.
Thank you.
If anybody here has ever felt scared or shamed of being vulnerable about your story, or just hasn't shared your story yet, can you write vulnerability in the comments? Because I think it's time that we take off the armor
Mm-hmm.
and start becoming the true versions of ourselves, who God, source, creator, universe made us to be. And that's about sharing who we are, all parts of us. Because being worthy is not just our achievements, because we want to achieve, that's confidence, baby. Oh yeah. But you just showed bravery. You just showed your self-worth, because you showed up and tried to do something good for you. And you even said this. You said, Sarah, if this helps me, I'm going to share it with the world. So what do? How we teach is we have to go within first. right?
Mhm.
And you did. And you're like, oh my God, you're actually right. This is helping me with my, you know,
Like,
I'm,
I feel amazing. What is happening?
you're just about to pop this beautiful boy out and you're like, oh, I'm good. I'm going to get on a call. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm like, yo, this girl, right? But then when you were able to actually say and go public and say, I've used this as a way to help me. And there's no shame on that, but that's not something you wanted to do.
Mhm.
And to say, I have found another option, you are going to help the masses because of your vulnerability. So thank you for that courage. You know, I remember the very first day that I went public. I went Facebook Live without any makeup on. And I showed the world that I had a port wine birthmark I was born with. And that was the day that I really started stepping into my power, because I didn't have to hide who I
Yeah.
was. And little bits by little bits, I still hid things that I was not proud of, the things that I've done, my unworthiness, and to this day, I think honestly, I will, like, it's a lifelong journey for me. This is part of this is just a part of me, and this is part of me growing into and who I'm meant to be. But when you talk about having crutches to help you with, let's say, your mental wellness, I have two, man. I have two. I have self-medicated because I didn't know what was going on in me. I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted the anxiety just to stop, just go away, just so I can get back to work, just so I can do my things, just so I can go down to the beach. Christina and I don't know if you guys know this yet, but we connected so much during COVID because we were both very freedom motivated entrepreneurs. Her and her family, they went to Mexico. Jay and I, my partner and I, we went to Costa Rica. We always championed one another. We always found this joy of seeing each other's posts, and at least that was for me, for you. And there was days I could not even go down to the beach. The one thing I'm like, oh, this is going to help me with my anxiety. I'm free. I'm out of Canada, this and that. And like, no, it still came with me. Still came with me. And I knew when I came back from Costa Rica this summer that I needed to help my brain. And I didn't realize that maybe this was actually in my gut. I didn't understand any of this. I'm not a gut health professional, but the universe led me to this company, to this mission, to this project, to these people, to Miss Mandy Escalin.
Mhm.
When you're ready, like when you're ready for it, the teacher always appears. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? Well, I do believe in synchronicities. I do believe that the right people, that God puts people in our life at the most opportune moments for reasons we can't explain until we can.
Mhm.
And my heart was ready for this. I was ready for this next stage of healing. So I didn't have to always go and self-medicate and hide in the dark and then not show up for days. But what happened to Sarah? I'm hurting. I don't know if anybody has ever related to this, but I see you, because I am you. And I think some of the greatest leaders of our time have been able to be vulnerable. You're not always the expert. You don't always have to show up. And I think that's why we have such a great community here and why we're in so much momentum, why we're expanding like crazy, because we're real people, having real connections, having communication, understanding what people need, because communication is simply just trying to understand what the other person is saying and just love on them, not just seeing like, yeah, whatever, and then just waiting for you to be able to give your answer for them. No, people just want to be heard right now. That's all people really need. They just want to be heard. They want, it's like you talk about birthing a baby, man. You know, you're talking about like people sometimes just need a little bit more love.
They do.
And then all of a sudden you give them that opportunity for them to shine. Because we're not here to convince anybody. Oh my God, no. People make a decision. You said this so great earlier. You present an offer for someone and you lead someone to them making their own answers in life.
That's right.
um, and you build your business with so much integrity, you know. And what I see so much now coming from you is people see you in such a different, like you're talking about being in more in your feminine. So many more people are coming to you because they see you as, not only are you this powerful woman, you're also a nurturer. You have little baby Isaac in the background, and you're vulnerable. You're human. And I think going back into this is just going back to the power of human connection. This is our superpower as humans, is communicating.
It
That's
is.
like evolutionarily speaking, it's just communication. It is a skill. It really is, but heart, you can't teach it. You have to feel it.
Sarah, I want to add to this because I talked in the beginning about your feminine energy and my masculine, and looking to dance in that feminine, and looking for counterparts and looking for people to work alongside so that that energy rubs off on you. But what I also want to address is that Sarah is one of the best closers in sales that I have ever met in my life, like ever. And it's because she knows how to cast a vision for people and they can see themselves achieving next to her. When she walks that line, they're going to walk with her. And it is one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. And I gave her that compliment a couple of days ago because I said that's one thing, like when it comes down to, I can sell anything that I believe in to people. But when it comes down to selling me, I have a challenge with that. And we had this great conversation about casting vision and how to do that. And there was all of these like check marks. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. This makes sense. But there's a difference in vulnerability when you are trying to get attention versus trying to relate, right? And the way that you can see this for what it is when you help people from a scar that is healed versus an open wound, right? When you're trying to gather attention and get people to take your sides and hear your side of the story and da 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 da, it's very transparent that you have some healing to do. You have some trauma that's being brought up in your life, and you're trying to expose that trauma because you're feeling that you've been wronged or you've been hurt. And really, leadership is about doing the hard work behind the scenes. It's about looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I need to fix this from the root cause up. And one of the things that you just talked about was, in sales, it's not about convincing anybody. It's not about manipulating them. It's not about using NLP, neuro linguistic programming. It's not about tricking them. It's not about, using fear-based tactics to make them make a decision. It's not about pain versus progress. What it's about is listening and leading people to a decision. Your job is simply to offer somebody what you've got that you believe in, right? With your whole heart, and show them why they should trust you, the result that you can provide that you are committed to helping them get to. And also, is this decision the right decision for you? It's not my job to decide, right?
Yeah.
Because if you lead somebody to a decision and you manipulate them there, or you convince them, instead of connecting with them and truly doing what's best for them, not what's best for you, if that decision leads to something that isn't good, maybe because 25% of the decisions we make, by the way, don't work out. Okay. I just want you to know that, because for any of you that beat yourself up for the things that you've made decisions that were the wrong decision, 25% of the time it doesn't work out, no matter how educated you are, no matter
It's
how
true.
many sides of the coin you look at and you think you've got it all made, 25% of the time it doesn't work out. And
Yeah.
so if you have to convince somebody or manipulate them into a decision through fear-based tactics or through whatever, if they make that decision and it's the wrong decision for them, guess who's going to be held accountable? You. Now, if they make the decision, a soul based, aligned decision that this is the right thing for them, and it's not the right decision, they can own it. They can take ownership of that decision and say, that sucked. I'm going to learn from it next time and move forward. And so I wish, more people talk about closing and more people talk about how to get more sales. I wish that we could have a conversation, which we're doing right now, about how to attract higher quality people into your life, into your business, and create a community full of like-minded people through this human connection, through this vulnerability. And it is not an overnight thing. It is a long-term vision. Sarah, we've known each other for a really long time, right? We
Yes,
supported each other
absolutely.
on other aspects. When you called me and you talked to me about this, you were calling to ask me about my program, about the education that I provide entrepreneurs, how I help people build brands, how you could refer me, right? You were adding value every single moment. You were adding value to my life, saying, how can I support you, Goddess? How can I support your program? How can I bring you to life? Because I see your
That's
life.
true when you say, how can I support you, goddess? I said that. So
I know, right? And but the thing is, you meant it. It wasn't to manipulate me. It wasn't to get me to see an opportunity, right? It wasn't somebody that comments on your post, hey, check your DMs, I messaged you. And then somebody's in your DMs and says, hey, do you have any more room for clients? And you say yes. And they're like, okay, well, I'm an appointment setter and I'm pitching you on my, on my business right now. It's not manipulation. It's because I want what's best for you truly in my heart. And when you learn to operate in that, not only do you bring higher quality people into your life, you have higher quality conversations, the drama falls away, and all of a sudden you are in alignment and calling in the right people to your business. And you get to do business with people that you love as opposed to people that give you a headache.
You know what's really crazy about that? People think that that is the long, this is going to take way too long, what you just said. This takes way too long. No, that when you go in alignment, baby, and you're doing things out of a state of abundance, because I got to have that conversation with you. I got to paint a vision for you. I got to see, you know what? Yeah, I do want to help this mama. I have seen posts of hers about postpartum, and these things you keep remembering, and you keep thinking to yourself, how can I help this person? This is a state of feeling. It is, and it has to be felt. And if you can't feel it and you take a step back, it's not for you. There, like you do have, every single human is blessed with intuition. It's whether or not you want to take that in. But I will say, when you are in abundance, there is so much pie. You can't even eat the pie. You can't even see the pie. It is so much pie. Whatever kind of pie you want. But here's the thing. It's the pie that is beautiful for everybody. It's like it's abundance. Even Jesus is it's in the Bible, right? What are you going to do with one fish? Well, no, there's fish for everybody, right? But when you're in a state of lack and you're in a state, I gotta go, I gotta get this, I gotta get this deal, I gotta get this, get. You're in a state of only about you. What can I do for me?
That's right.
Well, yeah, Sarah, that's why I got into this business, because I have to, man, you're totally please go back and look into your own worthiness, because service to others leads to greatness. Yes. I'm going to repeat that. Service to others leads to greatness. And whenever I need to get out of my head, I have to go into my heart. All I do is go and start messaging people. When I used to really, really struggle with anxiety really bad, I really wanted to go to the bottle, because, the Xanax wasn't helping me. The Ritalin wasn't helping me. Yes, I will admit I have gone on medication. It didn't last long because it didn't help me. But when I said that if this helps me, I'm going to share it with the world. I am now 16 weeks. That's been 60. November the 8th is when I first started drinking the happy juice, man. And I've gone that long without an anxiety attack. That's the first time in 10 years, man, that I don't have to go and self-medicate for anxiety.
I want to honor that, Sarah. Just pause for a second, because that also takes a lot to admit, right? And by the way, I don't think there's anybody that will watch this video that cannot relate to what we were saying, that has not reached for a drink, that has not reached for a substance, that has not reached for medication in a point where they are like, I just want this pain to stop. I just want this anxiety to stop. I just want to be able to take a deep breath, because that's what it feels like. You're treading water. It feels like you're drowning and you don't know how to get out of it. And so I don't think anybody out there can say they don't relate to what we're speaking of. And it takes a lot of courage to talk about it, because again, we're talking about the pain that you have to go through to have some self-awareness and actually take responsibility and heal from it. And that also doesn't happen overnight. This is a lifelong process of evolution. This is a lifelong process of walking into leadership, and it doesn't go positively all the time. There are times when you're just like, this is too much, but you learn through other humans, through your team, through leadership, through mentors. You learn strategically the things that you need to do, because we haven't been taught how to cope. None of us have been taught how to cope properly. You have to specifically find somebody that's going to teach you how to do those things, because we're not taught that in school. if you're lucky, you're taught that from your parents, and it comes generationally down, right? If you're really lucky. But most of our parents and their parents and their parents weren't taught any of these skills either. And so it's easy to take something to just take the edge off, right? Edge, that's funny. It's right. So it's just it just takes the edge off, right? And so many people do that because they haven't been taught the skills that they need to evolve. And I remember in 2021, I was with a mastermind with Danelle Delgado, and I got on, and I had a really rough year after two miscarriages, and I got on and I was like, I just need help. Like, I am drowning here, and I just started crying, and I was like, I'm at my wit's end. And this is what she said to me, and so this is why I want to pay it forward and share it. Is like, you've never been taught how to deal with this. You've never been taught how, okay, here's how we analyze how you feel. Is it fact? Is it fiction? How is it true? Is it not true? What can we do to change things? What can we do? Why is this happening for us versus happening to us, right? Here are all the things that we can use to work these tools, right? I've also used EMDR to help rewrite neural pathways from past trauma, not realizing that I was dealing with PTSD, and then that compacted with postpartum. And I remember I wrote about it in my last book, standing in my mom's yard in August of 2021, and I'm the strong one, right? Like, I'm the strong one in my family. And not to say that there aren't others, but I'm the glue that holds this together. And I was standing there and I was bawling my eyes out, and I looked at my mom and I said, I'm not okay. I've been doing personal development for 20 years plus, and I'm not okay, and I don't know how to fix this. I don't know. And if you didn't go through some form of that, maybe you didn't have an all-out meltdown, but like, if you didn't go through some form of that during COVID, or now post COVID, because you're starting to realize all of these things, right? Then I am so happy that you have the tools that you need, but many of us don't. And it's putting yourself in a position with a bunch of people that you trust, a team of people that you can go to that will support you, that will listen, that will honor you. It's true that you need to hold the friends close to your heart that you can share this kind of stuff with, right? But those friends are worth their weight in gold, and it's okay to ask for help. And that's really truly what it comes down to after all of these difficulties over the last few years, is saying it's okay if you need help. You don't have to do this alone. And I remember saying that to one of my team members, you don't have to do this alone. And she just started bawling, and she's like, I felt like I was so alone, right?
Yeah.
So we're not. We get to decide, and we get to partner up with amazing humans, and we get to decide as we show up how to bring those people into our life, how to listen, how to validate, how to help in a bigger way that is standing for so much more than just ourselves.
And that's why I say, thy kingdom come,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
The right people, the right systems, the right infrastructure, the right care, the right holistic solutions are all coming together at a time such as this. And we are making such an impact, something that cannot be stopped. It is so powerful. It like literally is divine. I truly believe that.
Me too.
And
Divine
it's a,
intervention.
oh, girl, it is so powerful. And if you're watching this, I want you to know that we care for you, we see you. And that's why we're here to show you. We're not here to try to be the experts. We're here to literally care on others. And that's why there is a difference in how people feel and how people show up, and who they want to partner with, who they're going to come with, because we don't leave anybody behind.
No.
What we're doing right now is picking people up, brushing them off, but giving them that love so that they can feel they're like, okay. Sometimes, I have to pick myself up off the floor and remind myself that I am really worth it all. And if that's one thing that I can say to the next woman and the next man who's watching this, just remember you are worth it all. That you can get up, that you can be vulnerable. You can give Miss Christina a message, you can give me a message, and just know we're going to be here for you. We want you to shine. We want ourselves to shine. And we helped each other through, like I called her today, I'm like, I really need you right now. And she's like, oh my God, yes. And it was just, it felt really good to know I could have a friend. Because a lot of us A-type.
It can feel really lonely, right? It can feel really lonely. You feel like you have the weight of the world and that you have to handle everything yourself, and you don't. And the other thing that I would like to, before we go anywhere, what I would like to do is invite you, if you're watching right now and this is resonating with you, and you want to bring in more of that feminine energy, or you want to bring in more energy to your business, and you truly want to create an impact. One of the things that I had to rewrite in business was my money mindset. I had to bring in a different way of thinking about money in a way that Hollywood doesn't portray, because Hollywood portrays money and people that have money as terrible. They portray people that have wealth as people that have stepped on other people or have done wrong to others, and that's just not the case. Any of the millionaires or multimillionaires I hang out with do more and give more than anybody else in this world. They give back more. And so I want to make sure that we invite, and I will put this in the comment section of this video online. I want to make sure that I invite you to the Wealth Summit, which is in Vegas, but we actually sold out a ticket. Sarah's going to Vegas. I am
Come
not. I'm staying home with
on,
my baby.
go
But
to
we are,
Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. Never
never?
been to Vegas. No,
Oh,
everyone just
dear
said, everyone
God,
that's
woman.
listening is like, you've never been to Vegas. I'm like,
You
why
are
is
going to
that such a
love it.
surprise?
It's such a fascinating place, and there's so many great shows and restaurants, and it's a really neat place to go, and I'm excited that you're going. But I want to invite you, those of you that are watching this right now. We are putting on a wealth summit with Rob Speary and Coach Brian Fryer, with Miss Julia Thornhill and her husband Brandon, with Miss Mandy Escalin and her husband Sami. Like, it's just a rock star lineup of human beings that are going to be there. And so if you've
Miss
ever
Christina
wanted to
Whiteley.
and Miss Sarah Shamoon, we're both speaking at this event. But I want to invite you, because look, nobody teaches us about wealth, about how to create wealth. Nobody teaches us how to call in higher quality humans into our business, and how to truly build business that will last a lifetime, one that you can depend on. And that's what we're going to be teaching at this Wealth and Branding Summit. So we would love to invite you. I think that if you can Zoom in and be part of our party as a virtual guest, I would highly recommend it. I've read countless books on wealth creation to reprogram my mind this way. But if you can show up to an event, by the way, networking at events is one of the best ways to level up your circle. Okay. But if you can show up to this event and learn a little bit and share a little bit and become more valuable and of service to others around you, that's when you win, right? Your value, the energy that you put out to other people, that's what increases your paycheck. It's not because you do more sales, it's because you're of more service and value to other people. So we'd love to invite you to that. And I'll put the tickets in the show notes in this video. I also, it's the 14th to the 17th. So it's coming up this week.
Yes, I'm so excited for it. And success leaves clues, right? And the people who we get to learn from and engage with and network with, it all has stemmed down from some of the most incredible masterminds that I can say in business, people I really want to learn from, people who understand systems, people who understand, like, anyone can make money. Anyone can make money these days, but to create wealth and to create a vision for it and what it can do to ripple onto others and to help others, just like how Miss Christina said, I just want to, touch on this just really quick, is really money is just a tool, and it just exaggerates who you already are as a person. And you can do such great things with it. And it really is a beautiful mindset. And to learn from people who have also been somewhere that went somewhere else because they had the right type of mentorship, because they believed that they were worth to get through their traumas, that they were worth that to break those generational curses, whether that was financial, whether that's familial, whether that's, just whatever it is that you have to break. We're here, so many of us in this generation. And if you believe this, type a yes in the comments. That you are here breaking those generational curses. I honor you, because it is not a simple task. So you are here for a reason. God is just starting with you. And if you stayed on it, you're like, oh my God, I'm so pumped up. I hope you are. I hope it lit some type of beautiful spark in you, because you are meant to shine. We all are, and the more that we can bring more and more people together, that is power. We are a force when we're together. We're sparks separately, which is beautiful, but we're a force when we're together. And Christina, girl, just imagine in a year from now. I'm not going to say this vision because I'm going to say this at Wealth Summit. The vision that I saw when I first sat down with Mr. James Bradford, and the reason why I keep this promise here each and every day at my desk. If you're at Wealth Summit, you get in and you go and you do the virtual, you're going to hear a beautiful vision that is happening. Call me psychic on some things, but I know this is happening, and it's happening faster than I can imagine. And we're just getting started here. We need beautiful souls, beautiful hearts, people that have understood that they have gone through the crap to come and help us launch this, because this is what the world needs. When 1 in 4 people are struggling with their mental wellness, and children as young as 5 are being diagnosed with some type of mental wellness struggle, we need to rise up, because service to others leads to greatness. You can get off the couch. You don't need to do that anymore. You can get up and write 5 people a message today. Just want to help the world right now? Just write 5. Anybody, just write 5 people a message and say, hey, you know what? Hope you're having a great day. That's it. That's it. You have no idea. That could be saving someone's life.
Yep. Be a good human. That's the rule. Be a good human. Right?
Be a good human. Be a good human. You are worthy of it.
And Sarah, I think that what you're talking about too is becoming the person required to get the result that you want, right? So many people want and want and want and wish and hope and pray. You must become the person required to get the result that you want. This is something I'm going to talk about at Wealth Summit too, and how to become that person and how to show up as that person, because that is the work. That is the work, first and foremost, above all else, above learning how to overcome objections, above learning how to communicate and reach out to people, above creating community and funnels and all the stuff that people sell you on. It's who you become in the process. And that's what we do here, is we help people step into the best versions of themselves, and we support them in their mission and their impact. And that to me is so much bigger than selling a product. That's so much bigger, right, than solving a problem. It's bringing community together of people that want more and want to become more and want to share more with the world. And that ripple effect is something, man, that's the vision that you'll cast, because I know what story you're going to tell. The vision that you're casting, that is the ripple effect.
Yep. Oh, girl, I just got all the butterflies. Oh, and you know what? Allow us to be the butterfly project for you. Because butterflies, I know Miss Juliana Thornhill and I, we were just talking about this the other day. Butterflies can't see their wings. So let us help you see your beautiful wings. That's what teamwork is for. That's what women rising each other up is to show you, is to help you feel inspired to go out there and create the life that you deserve, because you are worth it. Transform your life. You are enough exactly as you are today, sister. I want you to really feel that you are. I want you to go in front of the mirror when we're done this conversation. And I just want you to say, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Say that with me, Christina. I am enough.
I am enough.
Woo!
Thank you, Sarah. You are amazing. Thank you for taking the time today to have this special conversation, one that I think everyone should listen to and be impacted by, because this is how business needs to be done now, right? Things have changed over the last couple of years. It's not a click and buy. People are more skeptical. They have less disposable income. They are taking longer to buy, and they need to learn how to trust, and they need to learn how to connect. And that vulnerability piece is your super connector, and it's what will get you there so much faster if you have the courage and the bravery to share the things that you've already overcome. So, Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Do you have anything else to add before we go?
That felt really good. That felt really good. No, that was perfect. I love it. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And we can't wait to see you at Wealth Summit. We can't wait to see you happy and fulfilled.
Yeah, so easy, right? We just can't wait to see you happy.
I can't wait to hear more stories, Show up as the beautiful star that you are, and shine, baby. Shine, girl. You shine.
I love it. Thank you so
and I
much,
love
Sarah.
you, baby. And I love you. Go have fun. Hey, did you tell anybody what you're doing today?
No.
Oh, okay. So we won't say anything. It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise. All right, my friend.
I love surprises. I can't wait.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I do too. Have fun today, babe.
Okay, you too. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another inspiring episode of Freedom Motivated with your host, me, Christina Whiteley. We hope that the stories we've shared today have sparked a fire within you and ignited your passion for living life on your terms. Remember, true freedom lies in the choices we make and the actions we take. So go out there and embrace your journey. Take the leap of faith, believe in yourself, and never settle for less than what you deserve. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the Freedom Motivated podcast and never miss out on our upcoming interviews with more incredible entrepreneurs and freedom leaders. Be bold, be brave, be disruptive. You are capable of things far beyond your wildest dreams if you just have the courage to go for it. Thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Until next time, may you always be driven by the desire for freedom and motivated to make your dreams a reality.